Downtown, I'm Andrea Ubaldi.
And I'm Joyce Mazzarella. We have a great show. You're going to learn all about how to navigate your way through college. And also, we have a special guest.
We do. We have Jeff Freeman, the Coke guy. So we'll be right back.
Yeah, stay with us. It's College Benefits Research Group, who are in town? Roseland. So we have, let me go from here, Stephen Surratt.
Correct.
David Slater, you are the co-founders. And Janet Lauren, from the Lauren family, the famous?
I wish.
Okay, all right. And you joined them after they, how long have you been with them?
Since 2011.
So you've been with them a while?
Yes.
So you're a certified educational planner?
I am.
So we have it all covered. We have finances, we have someone to talk to when we go crazy about, oh my God, what happened? Well, okay, fine.
That's how we started. We started out figuring out how to pay for it, and then we were saying, you know, we really should make sure that we can pay for it and find the right college.
Right.
That's why we
so
started.
did you start out helping people just with budgeting?
Yeah, mostly
so that's how you started.
With the financial part of it, exactly.
Okay. So
Well, that's a big part of it.
Oh, definitely.
So how do families find you? Do you advertise? Do you do, how do they know who you are?
We do workshops in the area. We do them at libraries. We do them in our office. We do them in any of the areas that are public. And we invite them through the mail and word of mouth. We have a lot of referrals.
So do you also go to the college, the high schools, when they do the college night?
I mean, we've done them on occasion.
Yeah.
We're really geared for working with individual students and families. And so we do a lot of different talks, but we're, thank goodness, busy. And so we really tend to focus on meeting with students and their families.
Does a family go out and interview different companies like yours before they settle? Not that they settle, but before they choose?
Some do. I mean, I've often said to my partners, I really don't feel like we have much competition because the few really decent planners out there, there's not enough of them. This is what we do with the student family is make a tremendous difference in paying for college, finding the right college, and it's really all about them being happy and successful once they get there. So I wish there were more of us out there, honestly, because it's really needed. But what makes us different is we truly embrace the academic, social, and financial parts.
Well, I think
And
that's very
there's
important.
Very few companies that do that.
So-
Now, if a family comes to see you, do they interview you or do you interview them? Do they have to fill out a questionnaire so you know what you're dealing with?
So it's interesting. When we have people come to our workshops, the workshops are an opportunity for them to learn what's going on. We take them through, I tell, it's almost like going, if you ever had pregnancy, a Lamaze class. That doesn't always happen the way it says in the movie, but you get an idea of what something that thing is going to happen. We go through that during our workshops. We go through beginning, middle, and the end, and we talk to both the students and the families at these workshops, and it gives them a context, first of all, to understand who we are and to ask questions, which is always important.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt, but okay, they know that general stuff. So a first time the family comes into the office, what do they do? What's the first thing they have to do?
They generally meet with Stephen and myself, and we break the meeting into two parts. We talk a little bit with the family together, and then what happens is Stephen talks with the parents more about the financial.
Right.
And I work with the student, and we talk privately and really about what their strengths are, what they love, where they want to go.
Do they bring their transcripts at that point?
Sometimes, yes. But mostly we talk a lot. We talk really about what classes they're taking now, what schools they've thought about and where they are with their GPA, what they're looking for. We also talk about what they're doing in the summers and how we can start to think about really getting them college ready, which is really what we want to talk
So
about.
that's going to be your second meeting?
That-
I mean, your
that's
first
actually
That
meeting?
is the second
first
part
one.
of the first
Yeah.
meeting.
I mean, we've been fortunate now, about 80 to 85% of the families we work with are referred by other families.
That's
So
what I
we've
thought.
really built up a phenomenal
By word of
reputation
mouth.
that we've worked hard to earn.
Right.
But we always encourage them, if possible, to go to one of those workshops first, because it's not a sales pitch.
Right.
It's a workshop.
Right.
We changed it from seminar to workshop because
foundation
whether they come
Right.
and go to the workshop and never come to see us, they walk
They've
out of
learned
there. They love
something.
it. They learn a lot. I mean, we get excellent feedback from that. And then if they want, they could come meet with Janet and I, where I'm going to really give them a lot of good understanding about how the financial part works.
Right.
She's going to work with the student, and there still is no commitment. So by the time a family would decide to work with us,
Yes.
they've really gotten to know us.
So they decided to work with you.
Right.
So I would imagine you have to then narrow down with the student, like the colleges they're thinking of and where you think they would best fit. And I know there's a lot of competition in our area, and to advise them where they should try, where they shouldn't try. How does that go?
Well, I talk a lot with the student, and we really, once again, talk about what their strengths are and then what their loves are, because we really believe that if they follow their strengths and they follow what they love, they will get to a career. We don't know necessarily what the careers are going to be in
Well, I
6
think kids
years.
are so confused now that they don't know when they go into college. There's too many choices.
There are
Don't
a
you
lot of
agree?
choices, but we talk
Right,
about that.
right.
And we talk about
Right.
getting a direction. And
It's
again,
really about using the process to discover the best choices.
Right.
And too often we see that people will cherry pick a school. Oh, this school is great for that, and I'm great for this. But we start out with criteria.
Good.
What's the criteria? And we try to find as many schools as we can that fit that. And then we work with the student and family through the whole process to narrow them down.
But going back to the financial side of this, that's very, very important.
Definitely.
And we read in the promo that you gave us about don't put all the money on the first kid because you may have second and third kids. You have to be able to spread that out.
If you think about this as a process and what Stephen said, Janet is working on the academic and the social fit, but what Janet brings to the table is that she visits 60 to 70 schools a year. She's on those campuses,
Right.
she's visiting, and she understands it differently. So she understands what fit is,
That's
what they're looking
terrific.
for. And now when you have students who come from a high school and all they've heard about is this school and that school, well, sometimes the reps that come to the high school are from your town. They've been hired here. They're not from North Carolina where Duke
Right.
is, for God's sakes. And they're up here and you're like, oh, they're just like me. Yes, because they're from here. Janet knows what the campuses are like. So when we work with the students, we do have a budget in mind, but not from Janet's perspective. Janet's looking for what's going to be the right fit.
Right fit.
Our side of it is to figure out how to pay for it without going broke, which is which schools are going to give the most money, how do they position at those schools, how are we going to get there, is there a negotiation to be
The
had?
schools are so different in their policies on admission, but also financially. Some give a lot of merit money to a lot of kids, some don't give any. Some give a lot of need-based aid, and some don't give any, and everywhere in between. So that process of really fitting both the right academic and social with the financial potential is key
I don't
to
see
having
how
a
a parent
realistic
would
plan.
ever be able to navigate all of that on their own.
And a lot of the information they rely on is generalized. It's not personalized for that family or student.
Right. That's what's helpful.
Okay. Or
Right.
even colleges, they say, well, all publics do this and all Ivies do that. That could be farther from the truth. It's way more nuanced than people understand it is, and that's really where the guidance and the expertise bring value and success.
How do you, Janet, how do you help the student with writing the essays? What makes them different from somebody else? I mean, I just went through this with my grandchild. And I mean, to write that common essay, then the essay for the school, it was like,
And the
oh my God.
supplementals and all of that,
How do
yeah.
you, help them out with that to make it different?
Well, first of all, I think it has to be in the student's own voice.
Right, of course.
It's really about the student. And what I talk to them about is we talk about something that's important to them to talk about, but also you have to think of it from the college side. There are really two reasons and really two purposes for that essay. One is to show the students' unique qualities, and two, to show what they're going to bring to that campus. And you have to think about that when you're writing that essay.
Right.
And we talk a lot about it, and it comes out. It really does. We work on it together, and
Right.
it really
Right.
What
How-
really
how many-
amazes me when I've seen Janet work with our kids is how she guides them to writing an admissions essay. And so many people fail to really understand that. They want it to be amazing, but they don't realize that this is about the story they're telling for admissions.
Yeah.
It's not just an essay that an English teacher is going to critique and say,
Right.
wow, that really was, it's not supposed to be an article for a newspaper that has a byline that's going to grab you. And all of this nuance does change the way that people do this.
Now, do you help the kids? I mean, once they get in or don't get in, you know, what happens when they're
What do you do?
upset
Yeah,
that they didn't get into the
you know,
colleges they
not
want?
getting in.
There's always managing expectations,
Yeah.
always. And we try to do that before.
I mean,
We
you have to
really-
be part psychologist.
Well, we talk about that, but
Yeah.
you know, we look at the data, as Stephen said. We really look at the data before we're looking at those schools. Where does that student position? And we talk about that so that there's a realistic view when we're looking at the schools.
Now-
But there is a college for everyone.
There's more than one.
Yes.
There's lots. There really
And
is.
Also, I'm thinking like when the kid is in school and decides this school is not for me. Do you still help them at that point when later on they've already gone in? And I know we have to go to break quickly, but how long do you stay with the kids? Can they call you all through 4 years of
They
college?
could always call.
They can always call.
call.
I usually talk to them right around Thanksgiving because I always like to hear the inside scoop from their
Right,
view from
right.
the college. And they give me feedback about that college and how they're doing.
That's
so we always
great.
do that.
Well, we want to thank you so much
Yeah.
for being here. This was very enlightening.
Yes, we
and
could go on and on. I mean,
Have
there's
us
so many
back.
questions I
Have us
have.
You'll come back.
Yes, but we have to go to break now. But thank you for coming, and anybody who need help, it's College Benefits Research Group in Roseland.
Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you for coming.
CBRG.info if you want to go sign up for any of our workshops.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to break. We'll be right back.